I would like to introduce myself. My name is Hatem Cheikh M'hamed, a national coordinator of the CLCA project in Tunisia. I will share with you the experience in Tunisia in terms of the scaling. And we have said before that Tunisia is a country that has 11 million inhabitants approximately, and the 12% and 12% of it produces the GDP, and 10% of active labor or workforce. I will give you the internal gross of revenue, and the surface for olive trees is 1.8 million hectares. Cereals, it's 1.5 million hectares. And for forage, there are 300 to 400,000 hectares. And the number of producers is more or less 500,000 farms in less than 75%, with plots being less than 10 hectares. So most of them are small producers. This slide is to show you that there are two important problems in Tunisia: degradation of the soil, and mainly due to the eolic and conditions, the hybrid conditions, and there are 3 million hectares that are exposed to erosion, and 10,000 hectares represent more or less the useful land for production. And every year, there's an erosion from 10 to 15,000 hectares of eroded land. In summer, the national average is less than 1%, with one gradient, a very low gradient. We must say that there is an actual problem, a real problem of the fertility of the soil. Why? How can we explain the situation? For example, through the degradation of the soil, and why conservation agriculture would be a solution in order to remediate these problems currently with climate change and all of the consequences it brings about. So in the CLCA project, there are 4 technologies that were validated, and then they were scaled. There were 5 forms of technological innovation that were then scaled. The first one is no tillage and the minimum of work. And then the next technology is the use of residues and the management of the residues. And the next one are forage crops and the mixes of the forage crops. And then we proceeded to scale up this technology. And the last one is the use of mechanical means to better integrate the crops and the grasslands in these conservation systems. So in other ones, well, here I have a chart so I can show the introduction of the technology in 1999, and from the year 2000, there was stagnation of the adoption of conservation agriculture due to technical problems. And then after that, particularly in grasslands and in permanent conservation of the soil. So with this technology, we disseminated this technology in semi-direct without tillage. those big problems are contained in grass lands, in grazing during the summer and the coverage of the soil. And we worked with several alternatives. And among these alternatives, we also have that of the management of biomass and stubble. And in this model, we tried to find a balance between grazing, summer grazing, and coverage of an acceptable amount for practice of conservation agriculture. This scaling work, we found a model that is plant to plant. So that would be 30 animals in a hectare that are going to graze there during 30 days. That allows for a normal growth of the animal, and it also allows to preserve the 30% of the residue on the surface, and this could be considered as acceptable for agricultural practices for conservation of the permanent uh, coverage of the soil. That model was tested, was trialed in several plots, and 23 farmers or producers worked with this model in our country. And then that model was then scaled up in several regions, particularly in the northern part of the country, where there is agriculture where they do follow the conservation agriculture. And then the project brought about great importance to the introduction of forest
le point d'entrée dans les régions
between the entry point in the regions where CLCA is working in. We have to improve the turnovers or the rotation or the alternation before doing the tillage of the soil. So we worked jointly with developing forage of a forage type of plant native to Tunis, Tunisia. This is highly appreciated by animals, and it also has very good quality for feed, animal feed. So this was tested in different parts of the country at a scale level. First for summer grazing, and for this one, this showed that it was very effective for the growth of the animals. It was 150 to 220 grams per day in daily gain, and it improved the quality of the meat and also the lamb. And it is also used in a mixture, in a feed. It was mixed into the feed. It was nutritional and productive, and this was used for bovine. That allowed for biomass production between 6 and 7 tons per hectare, with an increase of 25% of dairy production. This was for summer grazing, and this is something that we did as in a test plot. And this is a comparison between the different treatments where we have only used grazing, only dry grazing, and then veg complemented. And then here you can observe that we have grazing. This gave us an average of animals of 160 grams per day, and in comparison to the ones that were grown in open field, they have an average of 50 grams. 1 more minute so that you can finish your presentation. Should I continue? Yes, continue, but you only have 1 more minute. I will try to go faster. Among the methods that are used for large-scale dissemination, or the application at a larger scale rather, we use the promotion of forage seeds, particularly the forage mixes. So currently these combinations are for forage are ready for sowing, and for dissemination we place them in hoppers for sowing forage. The technology that was used was applied in 3 knowledge centers or hubs in the SAC-1 region. We had different centers. One was for forage, and the other one was for farming production, and the other one was for demonstration plots. This slide shows how we have made progress in regards to the first year from 477 hectares in non-tillage, and in the second year it was 1,440 hectares with a direct participation of 95 producers, and in the third year it was 3,000 hectares with the direct participation of 150 producers. And as you can see here on the slide, what were the regions that participated? So we extended all of this in numbers of 124,800 as a total number, and 62,400 farmers, and there are particularly women farmers. There are 180 women farmers that also participated in training to learn the mix of the forage. And then we also published different brochures for small producers, small scale producers, and there were more or less 1,000 beneficiaries. There was a great percentage of women that participated in the program. So this is to show you that technology and the promotion associated to conservation agriculture has brought about much more training, much more knowledge for technicians and the farmers, and for the middle management that are interested in ecology. There are some these are some of the brochures for the CLCA. And then we also produced a video for the forage mixes in general.